Welcome everyone. Today we have a very exciting experience farming guide. So let me show you guys the replay and also our experience. You can see at the start of the replay, I'm currently on level 75 and I have just leveled up. So you can see I'm pretty much on 0 experience. So what you're going to see is within 10 minutes of farming, I have made over 2.5 million experience. And this is so amazing. So let's have a look first. Notice I'm checking different routes, and this is quite important. As you play this dungeon, as you get used to it, you actually get a lot of experience. So there's two ways of getting experience. One is that you're killing the dungeons and also farming events. The second way is this particular dungeon actually spawns spiderlings. And the more you kill the spiders, the more experience you get. And also the dungeon elite monster, the infested, will also spawn spiderlings. Those spiderlings will give you bonus experience, and this is incredible. Now on top of all the experience you can be farming, spiders will spawn randomly throughout the dungeon, and as you kill them, you get more experience. And the best thing about this dungeon is, you can be running this dungeon 4 men. Compared to the previous dungeons, which you couldn't do 3 men, this one you can do with 4 players. And this is because there's 3 and 4 different pathways, so if you have some weaker players, they can go together. If you have 2 strong players, 1 player take the left, 1 player take the right. So let me go through this guide with you guys. Now before we dive into this dungeon in more details, I just want to do a quick comparison. Currently the most popular dungeons, if you guys didn't know, it is the Champion's Demise. And this dungeon is currently located over here. So you can see in my live stream replay, I was testing this with 4 players. And what players were doing is, there's 3 pathways, each player take 1 pathway and they'll be farming monsters. One of the downside about this particular dungeon is that the monsters tend to run away from you, and also the monsters are a little stronger for most of the players. So they cannot kill the monsters fast enough, and sometimes they will die, because the monsters have the tendency of one-shotting players that does not have enough gears. So this dungeon, even though it's good for 3-way farming, a lot of players are having trouble with this one, and the new dungeon is going to be wonderful, because it's going to be much easier, much more straightforward. You can be farming for more events, more shires, and also way more experience. So firstly, let's have a look at the location of this dungeon. This dungeon is called the Blind Burrows. What you can do is, you can come from the left or come from the right or over here, you can come over to this dungeon, and this is where you want to be farming. Now coming over to replay. Before starting the party and also farming, I have invited 2 of my guildmates and also my friend, and I was giving them instructions. So just briefly on the instructions. The dungeon will be a little difficult and a little strange, bizarre when the first time you go in, but after 1 or 2 tries, you know the layout of the dungeon, and you know the best route for yourself and also for multiple players. You can be doing it with 2 players, 3 players or 4 players. It doesn't matter. Experience is shared across the dungeons, and you also get your legendaries in the stash if you miss them. So if you're going with 2 players or 3 players, what you want to do is, 1 player take the left, 1 player take the right. You can see my writing over here. And any remaining players will take the middle part. And if you only play with 2 players, 1 take the left, 1 take the right, and then you come together to the middle. And this way, it takes you about 2 to 3 minutes to farm the dungeon once. So here you can see my instructions, and I'm going to start. I'll briefly go through the layout with you guys, and we'll skip this quickly forward. So what you're going to see is, as I take the left hand side of the dungeon, or the right hand side, I'm mixing this. As I take the right hand side of the dungeon, if I go upwards, there is an entry. Now half of the time this will be a special event spawn, half of the time this is an entry that you cannot go through. Don't worry about this if you don't see the event, but if you see the event, you should be doing the event. And I have the full replay for you guys to see 3 different dungeon farming. Within 10 minutes, I got 2.5 million experience, and this is really good. Now as you come over to the end of your side, what you're going to do is, you're going to find the infested monster, and as you kill this one, more and more spiders will spawn. Your goal is to kill as many spiders as you can, and then keep going, because you'll be taking one side. Once you finish your side, go to the other side. And ideally with 2 players, this takes about 3 minutes. With 3 players, this usually take about 2 minutes to clear the dungeon. And I'll quickly fast forward a little bit to show you guys what happens when we clear the dungeon. Now there is some random events that you can be finding. So as you go through the dungeon, make sure you check the top, check the left and right. It's okay to check the death spot, because the dungeon itself is very narrow. You can go back and forth and backtrack. And for the events, some of those events give good experience, some other one gives also experience. But usually I do those because the other party members are still clearing out the dungeon. Experience is shared across the dungeon, and most of the events will summon spiders. And each of the little spiders gives you tons of experience. And this is the best part about this dungeon. Its unique features is that there is a lot of spiders for bonus experience. Now as the leader of the party, this should be done by the leader. Once your party have done clearing the dungeon, or maybe after 2 or 3 minutes, once everything's pretty much cleared, you don't have to loot out items. What you do is, the leader should leave the party. And once the leader leaves the party, the leader will be automatically teleported at the entries of the dungeon. And this will reset the dungeon. and then later should be inviting the rest of the party, and then you go back in and this repeats. So I'll show you guys again over here. So I was saying the two weaker guildmates, they were having trouble with the monsters, they can go together as well. You can see I'm always taking one pathway, and we allocated different positions for different players. Notice I check the top again, there's no event, and I do my same rotations, we kill the monsters. And this is super fast. Most of the time you'll get an event, and those events gives you tons of experience because they summon more spiders. And just to show you guys again, we're gonna repeat and rinse and repeat. So let's fast forward a little bit. So same method, what I do is I take my right side and then I come on top. But this time when I come on top, the path is open. There is an event, not really event, this is a quest monster. By killing the quest monster, we get more spiders. And killing all the spiders gives everyone more experience. So what you do is you just basically repeat this one. It takes you about 2 to 3 minutes with a party of 2 to 3 players. It is recommended to do this dungeon with at least 2 players. Now compared to the previous dungeons, this dungeon is much easier because there's more shires, there is more event, and the group of players who play this party is usually not susceptible to death compared to the previous parties, which a monster seems to be a little harder. Now because we'll be farming this dungeon a lot and you want the maximum efficiency, what I recommend is if you guys are in a guild, it's great. If you're not in a guild, the leader should be adding everyone. And if you're in a guild, once you leave the party, everyone in the guild should tap a message. So this way the leader can quickly invite the other 3 players quickly, and then you go back to the dungeon much quicker. So this is a pro tip. As a leader, I was having trouble to scroll down and find the players, right? So either you add them as a friend, or you make sure they tap a message in the claim. And this way you go together super fast. Now, if you guys haven't subscribed, it is a really good time to do so, because I'll be covering tons of Diablo 4 related topics and also videos and also guides. We'll be looking to the top meta builds, non-meta builds, leveling up, and also paragon tricks. We're also looking to the latest events and also official updates and also changes to different characters and also different builds in the game. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and also turn the notification on, because a lot of you who are watching the videos have not subscribed. You can see 80% of the viewers who are watching our videos have not subscribed. So make sure you subscribe to stay tuned for the latest update for Diablo 4. So now coming back to my account over here, I did play 1 or 2 more dungeons after this one, but I think after the 4 dungeons I was close to 2.5 million experience, but you can tell that we wasn't farming most efficiently. So if you do have a party of 3 or 4 players that is very good at clearing their side, ideally you can make over 2.5 million experience every 10 minutes, and this comes up into 15 million experience every hour. Now don't just trust my numbers, you guys who are higher level guys, your item level, your gear level, your monster level will scale higher in the dungeon. So you try this yourself, you try it for 10 minutes, if it doesn't work, you have your money back, and you're not paying me anything, right? So this is a really wonderful method, and I really want to share with you guys, because some people, especially my friends, they were sick of farming the champion's demise, and they were having trouble with it because they keep dying. But this little new dungeon is really good. So come over here guys, do this before they nerf this dungeon. I mean, what is there to nerf, right? But who knows, they might be nerfing something, right? And please don't nerf my barbarians, it's so good. So what I do now is I'll show you guys my entire replay of this particular run, and this shows you my rotation and also my pathways and also my choices and also how I communicate with the party. So you get to see exactly what I do in 10 minutes and get this much experience. So what you do is you times 6 to the experience, because we do it for 10 minutes, right? And that means if you do for 1 hour, it's 6 times experience. Now in order to show you guys all the experience I got, I have made the summary of 4 different runs, and the 4 different runs will take 10 minutes. I'll show you guys the entire summary, and you can see by the end of the run my friend was out, so there's only 3 of us. It is a little slower.
I must wait. I'm not ready yet. Must wait.
姐姐。
Fury.
No. Please.
I'm not ready yet. I need more fury. I'm not ready yet for fury. Not ready yet. Ready yet. Not ready. I'm low on fury. I must wait. Not ready yet. must wait.
Please, help us get out of here. We came here to purge the people. Now, I can't leave my friends here. Not like this.
We can't do it alone.
The only way out of this is to fight.
I'm low on fury. I must wait.
Fighting or we all die.
Not ready yet. Not ready yet. Not ready yet. Not ready yet.
Now, in case you guys didn't know, I'll be live streaming on Twitch again, and I have just started. So make sure to come over to the links below to join us on Twitch Live to say hi, maybe ask me questions or share any tips with the viewers. And while you're here, make sure you follow. And if you do have your Twitch Prime, this is a really good time to use your Twitch Prime over here, supporting us with Twitch Prime. And yes, guys, join us as I test build for Diablo, and also join us as you play the game and also farm the game. So stay a while and also listen. We'll also be doing some giveaways and also special viewer events in the Diablo as well. Maybe we do PvP and also related events in the game as we get to the end game, and also help players to go through the dungeons.